Hello everyone, I will talk about the short story My Brother, written by Norah Burke. Let me share my screen to show you the PPT. Yeah, so we'll start with the author. Norah Burke was born in 1907 and died in 1976. She was a British novelist, non-fiction, and a famous travel writer. So she majorly based her writings, fiction, non-fiction writings, in the setting of India. She published many short stories and under the pseudonym of Andre Lamore and Paul Lestrange. So these are the two pseudonyms she used in her career. And when she was a baby, she came to India and settled. Now, next, so then I will talk about the summary. So here is the brief summary. Now, the story is about a 12-year-old boy, Sher Singh, who, courageously, who bravely saves his brother Kunvar from death. Now, Kunvar was suffering from some stomach ailments, and one day his stomach pain worsened. Kunvar was very small, very young. He was a child, and Sher Singh decided to take Kunvar to the hospital all by himself to Kalaghat. His mother doubted whether he would be able to perform this task because Kunvar was heavy for Sher Singh. Kunvar's mother got two saris, and with two saris, she made a sling and she suggested that his brother Kunvar should be taken to the hospital immediately. And where they lived, the name of the place was Laldwani. And from Laldwani to Kalaghat, it was a long distance, it was a long journey. But without much thinking, without much ado, without waiting anymore, Sher Singh embarked on this journey to save his brother. Now, on the way of Kalaghat's hospital, he had met many adverse situations. He faced some life-threatening situations. Okay, he faced one cobra. He crossed a big river and a horde of elephants he avoided. Then, by the night time, he carried his brother on his back and crossed a very wild and fierce river. Okay, it was so fierce and wild that it had a whirlpool. So now the bridge of that river had broken, was shattered due to storm, and a tree had fallen over that bridge, breaking it and collapsing it. Now Sher Singh very, intelligently decides that it is better to, go by the bridge, or through the bridge, towards the bridge, okay, holding on to things, so that he has, even if he is swimming or submerged in the water, he would have something to hold on to. He would have something to grasp and cross the river. So he finally crossed the river, and all throughout this journey, when he was crossing the wild river, so he kept his brother's head out of the water so that Kunvar can breathe. Okay. Now, after crossing the river, he lay unconscious. He was unconscious for a while. And he realized that his nose was hurting, his because of filled water. His nose was hurting. He was cold, he was shivering. And after a while, he took bullock cart. He was offered a ride on a bullock cart, and then a truck. And finally, after this long journey, after all these, he had reached Kalaghat's hospital. But he had no money, and he decides that he would go to the rail yard, work there, and earn some money. So he, as a child only of 12 years, he goes to the rail yard, earns a few money, few pence, and then buys atta and mustard oil and some chilies. And he cooks his own food by making a fireplace with 3 stones. And after that, he comes for his brother, and the doctor calls out for Sher Singh Bahadur. So now Sher Singh Bahadur was the name of his father. But in the villages, what happens? Sometimes children are named after their father. So the doctor called for Sher Singh Bahadur, but the child of 12 years, Sher Singh, he came forward saying that his father is not here, because he thought that his father was being called. Okay, actually, the doctor had given him the title of Bahadur. Bahadur signifies courage. Bahadur means courage. So Sher Singh Bahadur. Bahadur, this title was also given to his father because he was a very brave hunter. Now, Sher Singh comes ahead and tells that his father is not here, only he is. Now, the doctor smiles and tells him that his brother would live. His brother is going to live. So the short story ends in a happy note, showing or stating that how courage and determination can make a person successful. Okay. So this is the story of a 12 years old boy who was extremely courageous and brave. Next, what are the themes that we can gather from the story? First and foremost, the most prominent theme in this story is bravery and courage. Now, only because of Sher Singh's bravery, courage, and the ability to take right decisions and the ability to think through, gets him to his destination. And because of his brave attempts at saving his brother, his mother is also able to, able to keep his younger brother Kunvar. His mother had many children. Sher Singh had many brothers and sisters, but all of them died either because of cholera, or maybe influenza, or maybe jungle incidents. Okay, there was a forest, so maybe because of the accidents that happened inside the jungle, inside the forest, because of all those events, many of Sher Singh's brothers and sisters had died. But it is because of this bravery of Sher Singh, of this young boy, Kunvar is able to live, and his mother is able to see Kunvar again, was able to, or would be able to see Kunvar again. Then next theme is self-sustaining. Now, the event of lighting a fireplace on his own and purchasing food items to sustain himself, to keep himself nutritioned, or to be alive, to remain alive, or to take the responsibilities. He needs to sustain himself. So these sentiments, these emotions in a mere 12 years old boy was a matter of courage. Okay, it's all a matter of optimism. Then next theme, familial bond. Now from this story, we also get to see that how bonded these two brothers are, and how, how Kunvar's or Sher Singh's mother loved both of them, but was helpless. Okay, but was helpless because their father was away in an hunting expedition, and there were lack of transportation system, there were lack of communications. So facing all these situations, their mother remained strong. Their mother cared for both of them, but still decides to let Sher Singh carry forward his journey towards Kalaghat's hospital. Okay. Next, rural India. We also get to see about the rural India. Now, what is about the rural India? So now, Indian villages back then lacked in many facilities, in many basic facilities, maybe of hygiene, sanitation, medical facilities, education facilities. So, this story is a reminder of that time when India would, Indian villages were plagued, Indian villages suffered due to the lack of basic facilities. Okay. Then next, motherhood. Sher Singh's mother was a courageous woman too, because it takes a lot of courage to send a child only of 12 years to Kalaghat, which was almost 50 miles away from Laldwani, from the village that in which they stayed. So it takes a lot of courage for a mother to allow her child of 12 years to save his brother. Okay, so we get to see the challenging situations that a mother faces when the father of her children is away. Then next theme, wildness of nature. Now, when Sher Singh, goes on or carries forward with his journey to save his brother, he crosses the jungle, the forest. Okay, and because he crosses that forest, he crosses that jungle because he wanted to reach the hospital as soon as possible. He wanted to reach it fast so that he could save his brother. So he enters that jungle and he comes in contact with wild animals. And through this story, we also get to see that how nature can be wild. The fierceness of the river is a portrayal, is a side of that wild nature. The wild elephants, the horde of wild elephants, the snake, the cobra that Sher Singh comes across, these are all wild entities. And through this story, we get to see an India, the side of that India which was in the past. Okay, so these are some of the basic themes of My Brother, My Brother. I hope you have enjoyed the session. Thank you.